Meghan Markle's ex-husband Trevor Engelson has remained incredibly tight-lipped about the Duchess since she married Prince Harry, but he was much more expressive when they were together. Trevor is a Hollywood producer and talent agent that Meghan met back in 2004. The pair lived together in Los Angeles before finally tying the knot in 2011. A couple of months before their wedding, the first episode of Suits went on air and it was a huge success. As well as generally favorable reviews, it had a completely captured audience, fascinated by the chemistry between Meghan and her on-screen love interest. Suits was Meghan's big break. The TV show that raised her from obscurity to acting in 7 successful series. Meanwhile, 3 weeks before the wedding, Trevor took part in a podcast called Schmoes Know in which he discussed his career with 2 friends. During the show, one of his friends suggested inviting Meghan on, to which Trevor quipped, "I'll talk to her," before adding, "She's a big deal, F off." By this point, Suits had already been picked up for a 2nd season and Meghan was back in Toronto filming. She watched the podcast on a live stream and could see Trevor swigging from an engraved hip flask, a gift from her, during the show. Trevor joked that his fiancée texted him to put that flask down. "It looks incredibly unprofessional." The podcast highlighted how different Trevor was from Meghan. He had a breezy self-deprecating manner, according to the 2018 book Meghan, a Hollywood Princess. He even told a story about how he was once chastised by a senior talent agent for standing too far away from the urinal, because he was afraid about getting splashback on his favorite suit. Royal biographer Andrew Morton wrote that he was very different to his bride-to-be who, as her former colleagues on Deal or No Deal observed, was always very self-contained and considered. Mr. Morton added, the podcast hinted at their personality differences, Trevor loose-lipped, unconcerned, carefree, a striking counterpart to Meghan, who was archly protective of brand Meghan, always keen to project an air of sophistication and style. She may have felt at times that Trevor was too brashly laid back for comfort, especially now that her star was rising. The pair celebrated their wedding in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, during a long weekend of parties and wheelbarrow races on the beach, culminating in a 12-minute ceremony which included their own written vows. Sadly, their marriage did not last, in part due to Meghan's filming for Suits being in Toronto, while Trevor continued to work in LA and visit family in New York. They separated after just 18 months of marriage and divorced in 2013. Given how loose-lipped Trevor was, it is perhaps even more incredible that he has refused to speak on his ex-wife, the Duchess of Sussex. And he worshipped the ground she walked on. I could not understand it. I mean, this is a man who would have given her everything. And I've even talked to him after, on a couple of projects I was trying to put together, and he said, "I'll talk to you, but just don't ever mention her name because I'll hang up on you."